That is completely accessible to anyone who wants to work out is on the verge of reopening in Manhattan, and its founder knows a lot about overcoming obstacles in his own life. Here's New York One's Eric Feldman with the story.
Determination, hard work, and grit. George Gallego has taken a punch or two, but he's always found a way to endure. His main struggle goes back to one night more than 30 years ago, inspecting a construction site where he worked.
I was searching for the light switch, didn't find it in time, tripped on some cables that the electricians left laying around, and went overboard and fell 3 stories.
The next thing he knew, he was in the hospital.
Tried to stand up out of the hospital bed and kind of just fell over and rolled on my stomach, and that's when I realized that I couldn't walk.
Gallego was paralyzed from the waist down.
It took me almost 10 years to kind of finally accept the world of spinal cord injury, and it took me that long to learn to love myself.
By that point, he ballooned to about 350 pounds and knew something had to change. So he started going around the block in his wheelchair, and those laps eventually turned into marathons, and after years, triathlons.
And I was hooked immediately.
Hooked on wellness.
You can feel different muscle groups.
And that opened his eyes.
Speed bags are actually height adjustable as well.
To a problem.
There aren't any gyms in the city that are completely accessible and catered to folks that may need additional assistance within a space.
So Access Initiatives was born. 2 gyms, one in Brooklyn, one in Manhattan. The equipment, the layout, the trainers, all ready to assist anyone who comes in, especially those with disabilities and seniors.
Having a space that understands your unique needs is extremely important.
Important enough, Gallego says, that about 900 people went to Access Initiatives. That is, until March 20th, 2020.
Only essential businesses will be functioning.
Former Governor Andrew Cuomo ordered all non-essential businesses close as COVID-19 rapidly spread throughout our city. So the lights went off at Gallego's businesses, and eventually, he lost his leases.
It was extremely hard. One of the most challenging things that I had to experience.
But don't count out George Gallego. He spent close to 3.5 years building out the next round for Access Initiatives.
A rebuild. Here we go.
He started renting a long vacant storefront on East 118th Street in Manhattan back in October 2020. But it needed a ton of work.
There was no floor, there was no ceiling, there was no electrical leading into the space, there was no plumbing whatsoever.
He spent many hours fixing it up himself. He'd use these yellow straps to suspend himself from midair to install the lights.
And just work away.
And in the coming weeks, he plans to be back in business.
And I'm really excited about opening these doors and inviting our members back into space.
Let's count it down and go back to both arms.
New space, same concept. Equipment that people with disabilities can use with ease. It took George Gallego a long time to come back from the pandemic, and even longer to love himself.
Once you can get a person to feel good about themselves physically, then you can start working on, other aspects of life.
Ready to help others who've been knocked down, endure.
And this is just a springboard to greater things.
And excel. Eric Feldman, New York One.